Welcome to another wonderful week of Dungeons and Dungeons. Last time, you triumphed in the face of Escot Grandier, defeating him once again, burning a Ring of Power, and through the aid of the Raven Queen Valkyrie, burning a third Ring of Power. He is down to but 2 Rings of Power left. Another of the Wolf Pack has fallen, and at this point, your group is basically caved in by buildings that have been decimated around you, surrounding the Neverwinter castle. Dazgalt Nevermember is still inside, and it is still your objective to try and apprehend him to bring an end to the Battle of Neverwinter, which is slowly coming down to an end. You had a ally show up last minute, which was Haru Lin Ryu, who came down and helped defeat Escot, but mainly you guys had it. And at this point, he is now making his way toward the giant entryway that the drow you escorted blew a gaping hole in to get inside the castle. With all of the elite guard beaten to death by Mosnell, we resume tonight's game. First thing first, I'd like everybody to make a perception check.
Okay. 24.
Okay.
28.
28. You're muted, Ryan.
I know. I was just laughing.
Okay.
5.
5. Okay. So the only one that really notices, even though you perceived high enough, Bologna, doesn't really mean anything to you. But Ari, you look over to closer to the entrance of this little makeshift arena that was created, and you see a familiar sign sticking out from a pile of rubble. You notice the Royal Oak is been crushed by a lot of the debris. The very place this journey began over 5 years ago when everyone met inside Neverwinter. And there is a feeling of nostalgia, a little tinge of emptiness, and a little bit of pride of how far the group has come at this point. So, where would you guys like to go?
I'd like to heal myself and my friends a little bit to start.
Go for it. Let me go get their stats up.
I'll cast a 3rd level Cure Wounds on Ari and myself.
Go for it. You can only use it one-handed, and anything one-handed. Yep. Obviously, you can do that.
Oh, I know that.
But your arm is crippled at this point.
That's
Even
fine.
reloading, you cannot do properly without a check.
Alright, you get 22 healing, Hunter. Or Ari, I should say. And I get 20 healing.
Anybody else you're healing?
Yeah. Does anyone else look super injured?
Ulazal looks like he's about to die.
Alright, I'll give him a... I'm not going to use a 3rd level because I don't want to use my last 3rd level.
He could probably heal himself. Let me see. Does he have anything?
He gets healed for 9.
Okay, here's some 9. You see, Ulazal... Thank you, and my old age is starting to catch up with me at the end of these battles.
Yeah, I do more, but my arm hurts, so I can't.
I can see that.
Can I try to fashion a sling for it or something, so it's not as, like, disgustingly painful, and I don't have to, like, lean on someone else, or, like, have someone help me do it?
You could definitely
I'll give him some help.
Yeah, you can have some help.
Thanks.
You're going to have to bite down for the pain because Escot broke your arm back the other way. So you're now just trying to get it over if that's what you want right now. If you want to break it back, it's going to be like basically loose bones in all one direction, but at least it's not all cracked the other way.
Yeah.
So give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you pass out from the readjustment.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking pass out. Can't wait. Holy shit. 17. Never mind. Maybe
17. Mosnell, you come over. Unless you're... I think actually you said you were pursuing Nevermember last session.
Oh, yeah.
So you're still doing that. And I'll say Ulazal comes and goes, bite down on this. And he gives you some just cloth in your teeth. And he readjusts it. And you just hear this like... from Bellona. and cracks, and it's completely useless at this point, but at least it's just now limp one way. You just have this, like, that throbbing feeling that happens throughout your arm when, you know, you have a hangnail and every time it bumps on something, but it's just like the entirety of the arm. You're feeling that throbbing pain as the adrenaline is now leaving your body, and you're now recovering, saying, oh, this is bad. You're able to use some of the cloth from the multitude of dead bodies around you and fashion a sling for your right arm.
Cool. So it's not just dangling there all super messed up.
Yeah.
It's at least kind of... We'll take care of it tomorrow or later or whenever. Cool.
I'm going to 4th level Cure Wounds for Zach. He's going to heal himself for 19 because he's looking real bad and now he's looking a lot better.
Okay.
Alright. Is anyone else in dire need of healing?
Belfina's like, I'm hurting, but I'm okay. I can make do.
How's Ralia looking?
Fucking fine. Raleigh feels great. Everything is going just fine now.
Ari?
I'll make it for now.
Alright. Let's get moving then.
So, keeping in pace with Haru Ryu, Mazdal, you guys enter into the castle entrance first. You guys start bursting through doors. You're listening for movement. Haru pushes you to the side or holds you for a second, and you hear him just listening. He has the whole like Mortal Kombat face mask thing too in his outfit as well. So it's like just completely envision like those purples and black outfits as he's listening. And then he guides you. You guys start going through, and you can hear the voices getting louder and louder of Neverwinter. And you see a bunch of young guards. They seem to be like fresh out of the academy. As you see Neverwinter trying to open up a door that seems to have collapsed in, and he seems to be running out of options right now. And he's looking all worrisome. He's got thinning red hair on him and a thin-cut red beard, and he's got all these very fancy, very gaudy robes on. And as the two of you enter into the room, you see him go, "Defend your lord! Defend me from these monsters to your dying breath!"
Can I do something?
Yes.
I'm just gonna slam my axe into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get it, wedged in there a little bit.
Okay.
And then the battle is over. Come quietly. It's done.
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
Intimidation. I have +0 for that.
Let's go.
Okay.
Well, no, 10.
You see the soldiers in front of Neverwinter rolling very poorly.
Advantage? I didn't roll advantage.
Okay. They still rolled poorly, but...
Okay, it's worse.
Okay. You
10.
see, they look to one another, and it looks like two of them look to whatever the leader is. And as Haru Ryu, he recovered when he was outside, his glaive, and you see him give a little look, and as he does twirls in his hands with it, as it's like flipping through its fingers and then around his neck until he catches it with his blade, the three of them toss their swords forward. First the one they look to, and then the other two follow in suit. And you hear Neverwinter, "Cowards! Cowards, each and every one of you! What it'll cost," as he looks to both you and Haru. "Name the price, you get me out of here, and I will make you kings."
No money can change my loyalty.
Money, women, I don't care what it is. I can get you anything you need. I have done the impossible.
The only thing that I want is you to come with me.
He starts to run.
I run after him.
All right. You guys are in a closed area, so the only way out is past you and Haru. Haru is not moving. So I want you to start making like grappling checks as you're trying to catch this greasy pig.
Okay. So, can I rage and use advantage?
Sure. I just rolled a dex check for him.
Oh boy.
Alright, I rolled pretty good, so.
Okay, we'll see how it goes then.
That's going to be a 27.
Alright. You see he looks at you. You're coming in close to him. Your axe is no longer there. The other knights are now making their way out of the room as Haru is letting them walk past as they are going toward the exit. You are coming close to Neverwinter, and you see him. He's like, and he's got all these long, ridiculous robes on with all these fineries and gold inlinings. And as soon as he goes to DQ one way, and you're like looking for the deke, and he's about to roll around you, he steps on his cloak, and he literally falls right into you, and you grab him with ease on a natural.
That's right. Just like, boom.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, oh, I'm gonna, oh, as you just catch him, and now he's just like, no, shaking and shaking.
I'm just gonna put him over my shoulder and just start walking.
He's hitting you on your back. He's trying to punch and bite at you, and you can't even feel it.
I'm just gonna go look for Blackstaff or Brian to bring him to.
Okay, as you grab him, you see Haru go, nice job. And as he turns out, he looks at the other soldiers. It is your choice now, since the battle is lost. Forfeit your lives or surrender your forces. And you see the three of them go on their knees, and they just put their hands up and like, we surrender, we surrender. And he goes, off with your armor. And the one starts helping the other, and Haru takes his blade and he like cuts across the strings on the tops just so both the tops come off of all of them, and he goes, now out with me. As they are now being ushered out with Haru, you have Neverwinter, and he goes, see, you're all gonna hang because you're cowards! You're cowards!
I
you guys
imagine
catch
you'd
up
be
at
able
this
to make, yeah. I gotta hear him saying this. I'm just gonna be like, I gotta look at him, and I'm just gonna like, huh.
Go ahead. Roll for an attack with advantage.
Would this just be like an unarmed strike?
Yes.
It is technically only a 13 because of my unarmed is not great.
But that still hits.
Yeah. Just like a headbutt, just be like, shut up.
Alright. How much damage though?
It's not, I don't do any damage.
You're so
That's amazing.
I have a -1 to my strength, so I lose the 1 damage from an unarmed strike. So it's gonna sting real bad, though.
But you're not gonna show it. He gets hit in the face, and you see his nose crack a little bit.
Shut up. You have no power anymore.
Oh, you'll see, I have friends. I have powerful friends at court.
Your friend Escot, we just killed him.
You see his eyes grow wide. No.
I don't think you have any friends.
You lie. No one kills the blue wolf. Ralia comes over. Everything dies. And then she walks away.
Even if you do have friends, I don't see any of them here helping you.
You guys come out into the plaza area that has been completely still like caved in. You can see areas being worked on. You hear people outside shouting and spells going off, but over the top you see a wolf emerge from the top of it and start climbing down, and you have Brian approach all of you. She is in what looks to be all sorts of silver and greens of armors on her. It seems to be extremely light armor, but enough to help with the most basic of attacks against her.
She dodges most things.
Yeah. Her blade is in her hand. It's glowing. You can actually see the moon inside it, and the like glowing star, basically, but it's more like an orb.
Wait.
And they're like rotating. As
There's a moon inside her sword?
There is not like a moon, not like
okay, thank you.
It's not like another
like
world type thing. It's it's more
I
the
was like,
symbols
the
are
actual
etched inside
moon
there.
is in her sword.
No, it's like Dawnbreaker.
It's like a celestial blessed sword.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the design.
Yes, and she's holding on to the wolf. There's a little like they had a harness made on it, and it's not a typical like horse seat like you would normally see. It seems to be minimized for the comfort of the animal, and the rope around it. She's stabilizing herself as she comes down, and you see cuts on her and little bits of blood here and there. Definitely suffered some damage during all this, but she looks really good, and for that sense, she is
Cure wounds.
not damaged. I mean, you're more than welcome to cure wounds as she comes down.
I was serious.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
Second level.
As she goes,
baby, here we go.
To all of you.
15 healing.
Oh God, so she's doing great now. as she lands, Bellona comes up with her one arm and just like cure wounds, and she's like, "Oh, thank you very much, Bellona. It is wonderful. You're all here, and I see you have a very special guest. You're all safe. This is the greatest of news." As she gets off and she pats on the wolf, and the wolf peers off the dire wolf, and it starts running out, and it seems to be looking to take a perimeter as it's checking into the bits of rubble around. She puts her sword down. She walks over to the group, and she looks. The battle is won. Both sides. Our encirclements worked. Thanks to all of your help, we were able to start it even sooner and crush the Cobalt forces. I could not be happier.
We've got more good news.
Oh?
Escot showed up.
This is good news.
We destroyed 2 of his rings.
This is great news.
And of course, our little present. And I'll toss him down on the ground.
As he slams onto the ground, you see Brian. She does a little shifter her weight back and forward and goes, "Lord Neverwinter, it's so wonderful to see you. It's a shame that word of your surrender never got to our ears before this very moment. I could have sworn we asked for it a multitude of times." And you see Neverwinter. "They didn't kill Escot. It can't be true." She gives him a little kick, and you see him go, "Gah!" She's like, "If they say so, I believe it's true. The same Escot claimed to have killed them, and yet they walked through my halls unharmed." Gives another kick. "But how many people died today, so you could be captured? You see him. "It won't be the last thing. You hear from me." "Oh, but it will be. 'Cause I know you have crimes you'll hang for. Not from the north. But you have friends deep in the south that wish to talk with you." You see Neverwinter look, his eyes wide again. "Whatever it takes, I'll give you anything. Anything you want, I can get it for you." And you see Brian.
300 million gold.
"I can have it to you within the year. Easy."
All of your gold.
I take him at his word. As Brian goes, "Enough, he's making jokes." As she uses her bow staff to smack his arm back as he points at Eri. "Haru, I see you have prisoners." He nods. "We have many prisoners. If you wouldn't mind, you can tie them up and leave them here. We will have hopefully these walls down in short time, and we'll let them reunite with all the rest of their prisoners. Many of these people are just victims of circumstance, defending their home under tyrants. As for you, you all have my greatest gratitude and deepest thanks once again for changing the tides of this war. I think it is only right if you all present Neverwinter to the armies. If you wouldn't mind, I think it would be best for morale if you climb the stacks here with Neverwinter in hand as the armies are awaiting our return outside. I think the Chosen would be a much better song than for me to bring him up there, or Haru.
Sounds like someone has to give a speech.
Someone may have to give a speech. You do not have to give a speech.
Definitely not me.
I'm gonna turn to Ralia real quick.
Yep.
Do you happen to know how to make magical light?
Ooh,
Really? I can do that. I'm offended.
Can you do that?
Pick me. I can do that.
What kind of light do you need?
Yeah.
Shall I?
Yes, I can make light.
Either one of you, I don't care.
It's a
I
candle
just have
I take my hammer.
thought.
We can do it together. It would be better that way.
Purposely ignored Muslim.
I was
It's lighting up. Look at it.
I'm gonna pull back on my bow to create one of the black arrows.
Yeah.
And I want them to make the tip glowing a bright green.
Sure.
We'll do that. Easy peasy. Light
So-
cantrip is the best.
Yep.
Once they do that, I'm gonna pull back, aim straight up, and then just shoot it.
Up in the sky, your arrow goes. Bright because of the light cantrip, but not too bright because it's still the middle of the. It's only like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. now. Remember, because you guys attacked at dawn, so it's the middle of the day. But as you see it go up, you start to hear these thunderous roars of thousands of voices. It's shaking the ground as you hear just the amount of volume that is being distributed throughout the city outside the stacks right now.
Let's go make our way over.
That's indeed.
All right.
As you guys go up to the stacks and you climb up, you appear with Neverwinter in hand. Mosnell, you're holding him and you have your axe in hand. As you get to the top, you stand up straight with your glowing axe, a Neverwinter in hand. Ralia on one side has her periwinkle glow behind. Bellona has her glow behind, and Ulazal and Belfina are flanking on the sides as the six of you stand before the masses of armies in front of you, a mix of the Waterdeep army, the Northern army, and the Linryu army. As far as you can see, there are just soldiers lined up. The Linryu seem more organized. They seem to have like specifically just the masses in orders in a grid of sorts. The other ones seem a little more spread out. As you get to the stack and you start hearing all these cheers starting to erupt and swords going up in the air. Do you guys want to say anything?
Nope.
I'm gonna turn to Maz now. I'm just gonna kind of elbow him a little bit and just be like, you should rage scream for the north.
Ooh. Okay. I could do that. So we get up there and I'll put Neverwinter on the ground, like on his knees.
Yep.
And then just look at everybody for a second.
Ulazal's gonna cast Thaumaturgy to make his voice amplified.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
I'll take a deep breath in. For the north!
And you just hear these cheers erupt behind, and you start hearing, for the north, for the north, the north, the north, the north. And that starts echoing throughout. And then Ralia and as that starts to simmer, Ralia and Bellona start hearing in the native tongue of their continent. You start hearing the Linryu start cheering as they are excited with you guys, but it's in a foreign language. And you hear, and it sounds like there's commanders. They're coming from different sections, and you hear, "United, we fight! United, we fight!" as they echo throughout the streets.
Awesome.
And the roars wake up as the sun just hits the morning sky, as the fires and smoke inside the city of Neverwinter indicate the conclusion of the battle and the victory of the North on one of the capital cities of Freya, with the second capital city basically in anarchy. There is but one one capital city left inside of all Freya, still owned by the Cobalt Alliance.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
As you guys get down off the stacks, Brian does end up showing up in Blackstaff. They end up exchanging Neverwinter, and the organization starts happening as people are now helping civilians, helping the injured, putting those who have surrendered, the prisoners of war in place, and everything is being sorted through right now. You are given an area inside one of the other larger castles, one of the keeps inside the city, to have some downtime right now and recover. Brian lets you know that there's going to be a celebration tonight and that all you will be invited. And then tomorrow, we will sleep in a bit for those that are the most injured. Not so much her, but anybody that wants to. They have the leisure to sleep in a bit. And then you guys will discuss the next step in the plan moving forward toward Tendorf.
I am gonna make a suggestion. If we can have a group, like a battalion or something, make their way towards Fandlin, they still need to be freed.
We'll check with our reserves, and we will have people sent as soon as possible.
It's a much smaller force that's in that area. We did quite the number on them when we made our run through.
She looks over to Blackstaff, and Blackstaff goes, The updates I've gotten so far from Fandlin have been most promising. Torleaf is making sure everything stays afloat since you have left it. He will be most happy if we can get something to them as soon as possible. I know my soldiers are a bit spent, and I know your soldiers are a bit spent as well. And you see Haru with his arms crossed as his arms are folded, his muscles look even more ludicrous, as is the classic thing that happens when guys are trying to buff up, but he's not even doing it intentionally. He's deep in thought, and you see him.
We may not even have to fight much if we just tell them Neverwinter has fallen. They may lose half of the occupation already.
Morale is more than half the battle. Most battles are won by breaking morale, not by defeating each and every soldier. As he sits there for a second and he goes, I will send a battalion there. My men are not tired. Many of them did not even get off the boats in enough time to attack. Show me on the map and I will send them.
They're kind of disappointed, really.
I guess, yeah, we'll make our way maybe towards towards the outskirts where we've got like a strategist tent or something set up.
So
show them on the map. It's only what is it? It's like 2 days from Neverwinter, 3 days.
Not far.
It's not far at all.
1 or 2.
Yeah, it's about two. To get to the encampment, 2 outside will be about 2 days. You see him look there, and he goes, I will send my firstborn son. He will take care of it himself.
That's pretty serious.
You see him break off and talk, nodding with another one of his sons who looks almost bulkier than his father. He looks to have even more muscle, but it might be to a detriment compared to his father's speed. And he nods, and you can see a bunch of battalions getting regimented together. They're all getting their formations, and they start their march outside Neverwinter. Their colors are all these mixes of purples and silvers and purples and greens in their cloaks as they're going out. A handful of northern soldiers are accompanying them, and they are being guides as well to make sure they're on the right pace. And a couple Greyhand are also in the ranks, quietly in the ranks up front to help advise with some of the stuff that's happening. You see probably to the sum of about 4,000, I'd say, soldiers end up marching that way for the occupation of Fandlin.
Because if we free that
takes
up, we have access to magic items.
Magic item.
Magic forge.
That is good for you
Ooh.
guys.
That
Hell
would be
yeah.
very useful.
All right. The evening is yours to do as you please.
Evening? You mean the whole day?
The whole day,
I meant the
really.
whole day. I meant the
Yeah,
whole
right.
day. It is only after that, probably about 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
We would probably just like sleep through the day because I almost died. I basically died like 4 times.
Yeah.
Ulazal was pretty dang close.
A lot of us almost died.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
was
like
hanging
a
on by a
good
thread.
balanced fight to me. That's what that sounds
Yes.
like.
Yes.
So, do we think we'll be needed at Fanelin? Do we want to go that way?
I think I would love to be of assistance to them, but I think they will be more than sufficient. Because it was what, like 3,000 troops there that was sieging them.
Yeah. And you
And
guys
we-
killed a bunch, and then
We,
Torvik killed
we
a bunch.
killed a lot of them.
And now
Well,
there's
let's rephrase that. Ralia killed a lot of
Ralia killed a lot of them.
them.
not enough of them, if you ask me.
Oh, just keep it up. I'm sure you'll get enough eventually.
Ralia, do you have an accurate body count?
I'm sure I could ask the Raven Queen. I can pray on it.
Oh, definitely get back to us on that.
I will. Something of note is you all seem to be getting nicknames of sorts from the soldiers, as you guys have now been in a bunch of fights. As you sleep through most of the day, the party at night, there is this excitement and fanfare. Let me get some of the tavern music, celebration music.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an FYI, I can run Ulazal if you just have his sheet up so we can modify it based on that.
Okay, dope. I'm pretty sure I did everything I could for them. They should-
Yeah, he's basically tapped for his spells. He might use his last few spells before he goes to bed before he
Dude,
sleeps.
The long
to
rest
heal
isn't
up.
working right now. I was trying it on everybody's sheet. I don't know what's going on.
His health improved.
I manually
say
put in
that.
the health, but did all of his spells reset? No.
Well, not yet, but I haven't reset the page.
No, I did too. Take long rest. Confirm. Oh, you gotta do it quicker. I'm dumb. That's all. I thought it was
it's like
waiting
5
to
seconds
confirm.
countdown.
I'm sorry. I thought it was waiting for
rest.
me to confirm.
We didn't take a long rest yet.
We're about to.
They are for certain.
Yeah.
The party's at night, so you guys can do anything you want during the day as I go and get.
You can rest and then party.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do
I'm
want to
just-
send a message.
Yes. Go for it.
Alright, cool. My final 3rd level slot here, I'm just gonna cast Sending to Ophelia
Yeah.
and just say, hey Ophelia, it's Bologna. We captured Neverwinter thanks to the aid of the Lin Ryu. I'm ever grateful and in your debt.
You are a dear, and there is no debt to be paid. I will see you soon enough. Take
Alright,
care
so I
and be
want-
safe.
Man, best friend ever. Literally sends an army across the continent. Hey, you don't gotta worry about it. It's fine.
Well, it sounds like they want to stay, right?
Potentially.
I mean, there was a lot of noble families in the north that got destroyed, so they could kind of take,
They could. Yeah,
you know, take their place.
they could propagate it with their good genes.
Yeah. The north will be stronger.
The North comes back
Yeah.
bigger and better than ever.
Oh, this will be glorious.
Everyone's just yoked.
No one will mess with the north again.
They'll come knocking on the North's doorstep again.
Yes.
That'll be the music when you can start that once we get to dinner time.
Did I see Time Trial?
What's that?
Did I see Time Trial, or is that old?
That's old. There's a new RPG playlist, Tavern Festival.
I saw Hunk, and I was like, uh-oh.
Surprise! Escot again! I said we were going to end it tonight, baby! Escot's like, fuck it, get it over with.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
No.
Oh, man. That would be hilarious.
Hope you're not tired.
We had a long rest, motherfucker. We're ready.
So is there anything else as you guys sleep throughout the day? You feel the cool breeze coming off the sea. You can actually even hear some of the sea where you are stationed in the keep, in which you are taking a long rest, and soldiers are outside keeping you all safe. You're mainly guarded by northern soldiers, and you can even hear seagulls. And as the hours are ticking by, as some of you come in and out of consciousness with sleep, getting up maybe momentarily to relieve yourself and going back to bed, it almost seems like interesting to some of you possibly that after all the carnage and all the destruction of the day, it's like the world doesn't even know. The seagulls are still happily cheering, and the waters are still crushing against the side of the shoreline as normal. There's still that bit of the world of nature is continuing on. Shouting in the streets occasionally cut into the keep as you do hear disputes going on and people being manhandled and spitting on others. You can hear occasional scuffles, but you also seem to hear rejoicing every now and then from cheerings of people throughout the streets. It seems like a mixed bag. It's not a clear indication as you guys even wake up and you maybe roam the streets a bit, taking in everything. It's clear that there are winners and losers here, and the people of Neverwinter, some are grateful to be freed, and others are certainly unsure of yet another group of individuals coming in, occupying their city, and causing more war and death.
You said we all had nicknames.
You do. And I was going to get to it at the dinner party as people approach and call you.
As we're just kind of starting the day, Ulazal, having switched out his 7th level, I don't know about the rest of his spells, but is going to take Regenerate and use that on Bologna to heal the arm.
Inside the keep, he comes over to you and he goes, feeling rejuvenated now. Let me fix you up. As he puts his arm on top of your noodle of an arm, which made it very difficult to try and get a long rest, but you did your best, and he casts Regenerate.
It's still a noodle because I have 8 strength. Still a noodle.
Cool.
Wow. Tyr amazes me more and more, no matter how stuffy he gets.
It's all about keeping the balance in the world. And you hear a grumble from his stomach. And speaking of balance, I think we all should probably balance our diet. As he gives a little dad-like grin. I am starving. I think we should go find something to eat.
Did someone say food?
As Maz peers his head into the doorway.
Never mind, I'm going to get some.
What? We're all Maz now.
I'm already gone.
He's already walking out. Do you guys follow?
Yeah, follow him.
The group comes out, and you can see a bunch of soldiers. Every one of them that sees you is saluting you, whether in their own way. The Northerners, the way they salute is they tap their weapons on the ground. The Waterdeep soldiers, they give a little tip of the hat. And the Lin Ryu, they give a slight bow as you guys walk through the streets.
Very cool.
One of the more commanding officers gives a tap of the staff and looks to all of you. Just like, greetings, Chosen. It's great to see each and every one of you. You can see it's again a drow with his faceplate removed at this point. And you can see like the sweat of day bothering him, but he is overjoyed by the success of today's occasion. He goes, Are you looking for food, nourishment, resupplies?
All of the above.
Well,
Yeah.
you are in plenty of shape, plenty of good shape, that is. Over there is the makeshift hall for food. You can get in there. I'm sure plenty of people would be happy to see you. Don't let them buy you too many drinks now. And if you need to restock on arrows, waters, or supplies, what medical kits we can, those will also be inside that makeshift area. It's being held in one of the other keeps, as he points to another larger building that seems to be guarded by quite a few people. Right now, there are certain districts you should stay away from, as we are still doing our best to contain the peace. Those districts are more toward the front gates, and they are referred to as the grave districts.
Okay.
All right. So do you guys, where do you go first?
Food.
All right. As you come to the food, you can now hear the sun is nearly setting. You're getting that nice golden hour as you arrive. Massive pits of fire are all around. They have basically all these braziers all lit about. In the middle is like one big large barbecue grill. You know, those large ones you see on like the crazy pictures online from like Southern cookouts, and just goes and goes and goes. There are just rows and rows of food all laid out and all cooking on this barbecue. It's tons and tons and tons of meats all around. It must be, you know, hundreds of animals that have just been laid about here. People are cheering, there's dancing, there's both men and women alike, civilians and soldiers mixed, people cheering, and you can see individuals drunk out of their minds, some mid-glass, they go, "Joe's in here!" Beer coming out, they have drumsticks in their hands, and everyone just starts cheering, and you can hear another, "For the North! For the North!" start up again a little bit. And you hear all these cheers, and some people just raise their glasses to you as they're a little more somber in their celebration, but there is clearly excitement going on among each and every one of the people. As you go and take your food and sit down, the nicknames you start hearing out and about, the one that is most obvious is the one they call Ralia the Black Death, as they have seen her absolute murder of the kobolds, and most people, they see this fragile little Ralia, but she seems to be commanding such a presence that most people are treat her and fear her or respect her as if she is holding immense power within her, as she is. But it's one of those interesting scenarios that someone so tiny holds such power.
Classic.
The Mosnell, you hear a lot of whispers of the they call you the champion of the spirit wolf, or the champion of the forest is a nickname you hear tossed around a lot.
I don't know how Brian's gonna feel about that name.
Ari, you constantly hear about the blade in the shadows, the living death that is out and about, in the sense of the air that carries with Ari is one of this mystery that people don't understand, as he's such a different looking individual, and his markings of madness radiate intimidation to those that now recognize it, and they all are hearing the rumors of who killed who and who took down Escot, which time or what, and you're getting the terms are really like the dagger in the dark, or cloak and dagger, or some of the other ones are more or less coming from an area of like maybe misunderstanding, because they really don't know you as much, so they see you very much as mystery. Ulzal.
It's because he's sneaking around all the time. They've never seen him.
Exactly.
Never took a
To be fair.
conversation with me. I'm a friendly guy.
Like some of the newer members of the group, I'm not even sure they've seen him.
You certainly have individuals approaching, inquiring about Arimore, trying to learn more about him, but intimidated. Belfina is getting the briar thorns. They call her the briar thorn, as she displays her druidic prowess in such a way that seems to be devastating and prickly, like the thorns that cut you badly. And the briar thorns are typically associated with this like endless briarwood that as much as you cut into it, the briarwood always cuts you back twice as hard.
Classic.
Who else am I missing here? Ulazal, they had him as the
Bow in Sky.
They had him as the Hands of Tyr and the Guardian of Death, or Guardian from Death. They see him as a blessing that is bestowed onto these armies of keeping individuals alive. In Belfina, there is one.
You got two.
One title that they all use for Belfina.
Oh shit! What did they say?
Kingslayer.
Yes.
Everyone is very aware of who has killed Escot the first time, and
That's so awesome.
who has apparently garnered
Yes.
garnered the respect of Escot Grandier to call her the bravest person he's ever met.
She doesn't know how to take that, but she's very, very happy about it.
As the six of you, 3 and 3, eat across from each other at one of the long tables, you're visited by a plethora of soldiers, all interested, some paying honors, some slapping on your back, women throwing themselves at you, men throwing themselves at you, to both genders, both ways. No one's discriminating. People buying you guys rounds after rounds. You are...
I'm handing all of my drinks to everybody else.
I am just
Mainly
at
Ulazal.
trolling around with my 21 perception with a passive perception, and just like anytime somebody's like going around and like asking about me that I pick up on, I'll just like walk up behind them and be like, "What you asking about?" and then just walk away.
You strike the fear of God as a new nickname arises from this night and this evening, as they call him the Shadow, as he appears from the shadow all too often.
I like it. The Shadow.
And you hear people being like, "Be careful what you talk about. The Shadow might appear."
Oh no!
Who Shadow?
They shouldn't have called you that. Oh no!
Is there anything that you guys want to do or take in or ask any questions about?
There's probably going to be a moment kind of
Gorging
late
myself.
into the night where I'd kind of wander off on my own.
Sure.
Find kind of like a dark corner to just watch the moon.
Classic
Maybe go up to the wall and just kind of sit with my legs hanging over.
Sure.
Classic Shadow.
All right. As Bellona, you look up into the distance and see him on top of one of the rampart walls closest to the gathering, looking up towards the moon. You do notice in your hand, Bellona, as you turn over, there seems to be one of the symbols of Mugnus inside your hand. It just seemed to appear out of nowhere.
In my hand?
Yes. It's
Like
it's
embedded
a
in
sigil.
the flesh?
No. Like a charm and a necklace that just seems to appear there after, you're starting to get a little drunk. People have shaken your hands. It seems like somehow someone either put it in your hand or it was a gift given to you at some point, and you feel the sensation of a good hunt. You have walked the path of the hunt.
What does it look like?
For this one, it's 2 crossed spears, and it looks to be the skull of a lizard folk, like the top half of a skull, what it would look like.
Mhm.
And that's crossed over the 2 spears.
Okay. What's the charm made out of?
It appears to be steel.
Steel. Okay, cool.
Shiny.
Oh.
Nothing magical about it, just the charm appeared.
Is there any way that I can pin it on my person?
Oh, certainly, you can do that. Yeah, you can
do that
fashion that.
Cool.
Ari, on top of the wall, looking up toward the moon. You find yourself caught in deep thought, some excitement, some fear. Excitement for how far you progressed and how it looks like there is a chance to right one of the worst wrongs that could have possibly happened. And some fear of what's next. If this has an ending, as this has been your sole objective for so long, what is next? Is there anything else you want to do as you gaze into the moon?
I'll just kind of pull out and kind of twiddle the dark coin in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of inspect it a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, let me just see something.
I flip it and I turn on everybody.
No, I just wanted to see. Oh, okay. Oh, that didn't help. I was gonna try and use a hero action, but it didn't roll into anything useful.
Okay, that's fair. You used it for the day. Technically, but you long rested, so that's fine. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm just gonna kind of think to myself, thinking back onto the broken sword cave.
Yeah.
And the champion I met.
Yeah.
And just kind of ruminating on what he said, how answers are supposed to be coming, who is this deity that's spoken to me once, what they intend, how do I play into this, because this group kind of knows a little bit about Ragnorum, right?
Very little. Next to
Very
nothing.
little, but we know there's been this thing with the madness lizards and...
Yeah, and you've seen him once, and he has all
Yeah.
his tattoos.
Do we know
on
that
him.
connection? We just saw him in the portal thing.
Yeah, but it didn't make a lot of sense to you guys.
Yeah, so I don't think we know the connection between
You have
him
little
and
to no interaction with him. You've heard just about no briefings on Ragnorum. Most people haven't bothered you guys with it. That's definitely water deep. Like, they keep to themselves and talk about that themselves on a need-to-know
Yeah.
basis, because that's not what the war is right now.
Yeah. We basically just saw him take the orb, and he's this big, scary lizard dude, and that's
Yeah.
all we know.
Well, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, maybe kind of trying to reach out the cosmos, just looking for answers, seeing if my brother will come by.
As you wait around and just about go back and return to the party, you hear the skipping of stones towards your left side.
Take a look.
You can see your little brother with stones, and you see him like trying to hit one of the craters, and he keeps missing, and you see him just like, ugh.
You gotta do it a little bit differently. Try it this way, and I'll kind of like show a different kind of throwing technique.
You see him look towards you, and your rock goes right into it. And he goes, "Here." He takes it, yeah, chucks it out, and it just barely makes it in. And he jumps for joy and just like, you always know best. As he walks over and gives you a hug, and it nearly knocks you to your side, and you see him look at you just like, I was so worried for you. I'm so happy you're all right. You turn to look to his face, and you can see the rosiness in his cheeks and the excitement in his eyes as he looks into you, and he just like nothing but smiles.
Just kind of scruff his hair a little bit. Give him a hug. I was worried too. It was a tough morning.
It seems so as he sits down behind you. I only get to see certain bits and pieces of it, but it's always worrisome. It's the strangest times. I have to come and make sure you're all right, though.
What does this mean? I mean, keep coming by. Who is this person? This entity?
You got me. He kind of says I'm your guardian angel. I don't know about that. I don't see any wings, and I don't think I'm dead, so I don't really understand either of those. But, you know, when I'm not here, it's sort of like a blur. You know, I feel like everything's okay, and I know I see Mom and Dad just fine. It's like I'm just back home. But I don't know what this thing is. It sort of seems to be keeping an eye out and protecting us. And I think that's all right by me. As he's going side to side and his feet are off the edge of the ramparts as well with you, but he's more like kicking the sides of them to a tune inside his head you can't hear.
I met somebody else like me with the tattoos and everything.
Oh, I bet his tattoos weren't as cool, though. You have the best ones.
Yes, yeah, they weren't as cool.
Knew it. I think I want some.
I don't suggest it. It was a little painful.
I could take it, as he stands up and looks you in the eyes. I could take it. If I can be more like my big brother, I'm gonna be.
Well, if I don't see you for a little bit, tell our friend in the stars to have a chat with me sometime. Want to know something.
Yeah, I'll let him know. He normally doesn't talk to me. I think he's talked to me maybe once. As he looks off into the distance.
And we're both in the same boat. Just kind of sit quietly for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn. Is he still there?
Nope.
Take a big deep breath and get up and make my way back to the festivities.
Certainly. You come back to a drunk Ulazal saying some crazy stuff back and forth with some people and showing these tears, and people are these orbs, as he's got all these like light and glowing orbs, and he's just like, no, this is cool, let me show you this trick, I learned this a while ago. And he's showing all these like party tricks he knows how to do with some of his magic. And you see Ralia just amusing herself as she's ever so slightly thwarting his attempts to try and show the tricks and messing with her own magic. And as Morta, her raven, comes in and out as well and picks up food, and eventually he's like comes over and settles on her shoulder. It's like eating a portion that she took from somebody else, and whispering over to Ralia back and forth. And Ralia gives a smile and laughs as the group continues to enjoy their parties for the night. Masno clapping along, laughing at everything that's going on. Ona and Belfina, same, all partaking and enjoying the night.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do some hand magic.
Pick a card.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
I have to start entertaining people.
Oh, wrong, not this deck.
Give me a sleight of hand check followed by a performance check.
Actually, there we go. So it's gonna be a 20, a dirty 20 for my sleight of hand,
yep,
and a 7 for my performance.
as Aerie goes around doing some magic tricks, some hand magic. Most of the people laugh and applaud, but the problem is no one sees what's happening. He's literally going too fast, and no one understands the tricks, period. Trick after trick, people were like, where did the deck come from? I didn't see the deck until it was over. But you impressed quite a few people. Even if it wasn't a good performance.
Is Brian at this party?
She does not seem to be at the party.
All right, then.
You guys can move on. It's up to you. Do more stuff at the party, or anything in your imagination is up to you if you want to do it. If not, we can move on.
I'm probably going to be having an eating contest with somebody.
Certainly. Let's have it.
Yes.
One of the bigger individuals.
You can eat more than me. Come on.
You see one of the citizens of Neverwinter come up who's got a massive belly. It is huge. He stands probably 6'4", big and tall looking guy, but he's just got this belly and he knows how to eat, and he's just like, I heard you want someone to challenge you in an eating contest.
You heard right.
Oh, I'm gonna eat you out of town. You might be chosen for one thing, but eating is my specialty. You guys sit down, and it's like, bring out the mutton! And they just started slapping down mutton after mutton. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Oh, good start. 23.
Nice, good start on him as well. He got a 22. You see the two of you looking at each other's eyes, and he goes, half eaten, just like, oh, we're in for a good one tonight, man. All right, give me another Constitution saving throw.
All right. Oh no, natural one.
As you are eating, one of the individuals, as you take your next bite, they're drunk and they're leaning on you, and one of them accidentally sloshes beer into your mouth, and you're like, and the taste itself is like revolting to you. He starts to slow down a little bit, and he goes, oh, not looking so good there. That's one failure for you.
Damn it.
Go ahead and roll again.
All right. 13.
Second course! As they bring the second course over, and it goes, duck! And the grease is just everywhere as you're eating through the duck, and you start on your fingers as you're looking him in the eyes, and you can see he starts to slow down a little bit, and just like, oh, grease isn't mixing so well with all the sugar I ate earlier. And he has his first failure. So go ahead. Next go.
All right. Oh my god. 10.
10! The two of you both, since you're even knock, I'm saying you both get failures. You're both starting to get dizzy here. Third course! As
Let's do this.
They bring over some more, I'd say, some of the ribs. They have some pig that they ended up cooking up. Here we go. And he goes, all right, here we go, big boy.
Yes. 23.
Oh no, you see him, he starts woozing. He starts going side to side as the two of you are going back and forth, and they bring dessert out. You eat the ribs, you clean the ribs and put them aside, finding your second stomach. You see him, and then there's just these chocolate delicacies laid in front of you, and you see him go to take the first bite as you crunch down on it, and you see him go and just start puking with a 9 as he gets his third failure, and you see everybody start cheering, and they go, oh, I told you! People with bets start paying out to one another, and like, the chosen never lose! Champion of the forest, I think champion of our stomachs! as they start high-fiving. Oh, I think I'll call him the Endless Void. Oh, fuck yeah! We won! As it just keeps.
And I'll give my opponent a firm handshake.
He gives you a great handshake, firm, strong back as he's wiping his mouth with the other one. He's like, I've never been out-eaten before. You have my respect.
You were a worthy opponent.
Oh, now that's double respect. Another round! As everyone's like, all rounds are free.
This guy's a savage.
I'm still giving all my rounds. Well, I'm giving half of my rounds, like all night, to Ulazal.
Yeah.
And the other half I'm splitting amongst everybody else. But half are going to Ulazal.
You see Ulazal.
Whether he chooses to drink them or not, that's up to him.
Oh.
I'm giving them to him.
Oh. I just got gutted. I'm sorry. I remembered I had a whole big thing planned for Ulazal today. And it
It's fine.
And this would have been the perfect opportunity. We'll save it. That's fine. There'll be other battles to win.
Tomorrow. It's fine.
He's too drunk to do that tonight.
Yeah, well, actually, it would have been perfect. It would have been perfect if he was too drunk. Anyway, as he's around your shoulders and looking at each and every one of you and just like, now, some say the fourth psalm in the teachings of Tyr isn't actually from Tyr. I can prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that these are from the words of the deity. Just because it's a little strangely, as he falls over and knocks a chair over and a couple people, and instead of mad, you see them all start cheering like, ah! They're all so excited. And they lift him back up, and then he falls back down. They're like, yes! And they go and bring some more, and they're just like dumping it on him. And you see Ulazar like, enough! And they're just like, you know what to do! And he's like, ah, greater restoration. As he goes and heals himself, and he's like, I think I'm good for another round.
Oh my god!
Ulazar just getting
blasted. They can just drink as much as they want and then fix it later.
You actually see him start drinking more when the individuals from Neverwinter's Shrine of Tyr that he last left here approach him, and they embrace him. They exchange words that were supposed to be privately with him, and they share a really cool moment with one another. As they go and sit for a while, as Ulazal sits at a table with the two followers of Tyr that took him in, and he helped the faith worship inside Neverwinter. Ralia is looking at a couple individuals that are passed out on the ground and are in their own vomit and gross and disgusting, and you see her talking with Morta on her shoulder, as any one of you that cares to approach does.
I'll approach.
All right, Bellona. As you approach, you hear Ralia side of the conversation. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Just let me try it. Let me see if I can bring him back. And Morta, you look, yeah, but if he's not dead, it's gonna look really bad. She's like, I'm the Black Death. I look bad all the time. And hello, Bellona. How are you doing?
What's going on over here?
Nothing. You think he's alive or dead?
Probably just passed out. Probably
I don't
alive.
see his chest rising.
Let me do a medicine check.
Go ahead and make a
check
medicine
to see if he's breathing.
Yeah.
23. Wow.
Whoa.
He is choking on his
National
vomit and probably about to die, and Ralia's not helping him.
I'm gonna see if I can help this guy out. I'll turn him over.
Sure, with that medicine check,
just
easily.
try. Yeah.
He comes back. He's like, oh. He looks to you. Oh, gets vomit all over the side of your face. Oh, my hero, you're so beautiful. As he puts his face down in his own vomit and then comes back up again. Bah! Bah! And lays back on his side.
Can I make a... What kind of check would it be to restrain yourself from knocking this guy out?
Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Natural 1.
As you clock him, you punch him, knock his face out, down into the ground, And as you do that, you turn to Raleigh. He's like, should have been dead.
Yep.
As you walk away, though, with a natural one, even though this doesn't work on saving throws, you hit him with the arm that was just healed, and you can feel it just like funny bone hit through your entire arm as you just go numb. And you're like, gah!
No. Gotta ease this arm back into action.
You see Ralia, a spell goes off and nothing happens. You see her go, shit. As she walks away after you punch him.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna go try to find somewhere to clean off this vomit.
Yeah, easily you're able to do it.
That's unsightly.
So, the rest of the night is yours if you guys want to do anything else or go to sleep and get ready for the meeting tomorrow with the strategists.
I'm probably gonna go to bed early and rest up my arm because clearly it's not 100%.
Yeah, there seems to be some lingering effects as much as been regenerated.
Yeah.
Seems like it's gonna take a little time, maybe a day or two's time, as literally like tendons are ripped out of places and trying to get those nerves back in place. Healing's not a perfect science.
Nope.
It's magic, not science.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why it's not a science.
It's like it's functioning, but you just might not be able to feel anything with that arm anymore. No, you're good. You don't have any lingering wounds yet. We're not there yet. Wait till Act 3.
When we get amputated. Yeah.
We'll see. What else you guys want to do?
I'd like to see if I could track down Brian.
Certainly.
If she's not asleep somewhere. I won't wake her up if she's sleeping.
Go ahead and make a survival check if you want to do it on your own, or persuasion check if you want to talk to somebody.
Both.
I'll just do it on my own.
All right.
Survival check?
Yep.
I am good at that. That is a 25.
Easy enough to track down Brian. You find one of her sworn out and about running an errand and walking back to Brian. You actually notice it's Pi, and she leads you to one of the encampments outside in a very modest-looking tent that is in one of the worser parts of the town, still heavily guarded. I mean, there is soldiers everywhere. She's basically encircled by soldiers in this tent. And you approach as you see a bunch of guards look to you, and they both tap their the bottom of their spears, and they go, "Chosen, good to see you."
Masno's fine, but...
Certainly, sir.
Is Brian inside?
Well, certainly. Would you wish an audience with the king?
If it's not any trouble.
I will inquire. As he turns in, you hear, "I always have time for Masno. Get him in here." And you see, she will see you. As you walk inside, it seems a bit claustrophobic because there's like 5 sworn inside here, all like sequestered to a part of this room with Brian, and she's just standing over the map and the plans and all sorts of briefings. And you also see sitting down Salem cross-legged in this room with Brian. It's just the two of them and the sworn as they seem to be discussing. You see Salem look and he goes, there he is. There's Masno. My God, the heroes of the North continue to impress. You may have feasted tonight, but I tell you, when this war's over, we are going to have the greatest feast this world has ever seen.
Well, this one's gonna give you a run for your money. I already had an eating contest. Pretty great.
Is that all it takes? And you see Brian laughing. Oh, I hope you did win.
Oh, I did. He was very challenging, but I was able to sneak in the win.
You can see the just pure excitement in her at this contest and the joy radiating into her face from that beat as she shakes her head. I expected nothing less. And this is a beautiful sign of the normalcy to come to our world. Just, it's on the dawn. We can all see it. You can see all of her sworn just sort of looking like,
Yes, but neither of you wish to join?
You see Salem, my work is never done. And Brian looks, I I do not think it is best for me to be partaking in such pleasantries when there are so much to do still, so many lives that have been lost. I do not get such privileges. Yeah, it's a heavy burden to bear, but one I am happy to do for my people. There will be a time for me to rest, as I was already injured for more than a month. But the celebration is not mine. It is the people's celebration. It is for them to rejoice in this world.
Fair enough. But when this is all over, I hope you both join us for this apparently greatest feast and celebration the world has ever seen.
Oh, I assure you, everybody's who's who will be there. That is a promise. You see Brian be like, I don't know, I'm awfully busy. And he looks, it'll be something you can't refuse. And you see her give a little bit of a concerned look as you see Salem clearly know something with a big grin on his face.
Oh. So are you guys laying out plans for what comes next?
Yes, discussing strategy and potentially how we move forward, and even more optimistic, what the play is after the war. Salem is well, you can tell him, Salem. You're always the one that prizes plans so much, and his ears are as privileged as anybody else's that you would give. And you see him now, it's like, yeah, of course I'd let him know. Ever since that Orlith incident, I have been very, very concerned about powers growing out of control, and I walked into Escot as well. And it's very clear that these alliances are troublesome, to say the least. The Cobalt Wolves grew in power to a way that was mismanaged and caught so many of us in a way that we could have been destroyed overnight, that we could have been defeated overnight. And we were all too focused and too selfish to realize what's important. And I know I proposed this at the Mountain of sorts as some sort of fellowship or alliance or, uniting of our groups, because I saw so much strength between you and my dear friends back home in Waterdeep. This is something I think is a long time coming, and a unification of sorts of a tool seems to be around the corner. And that is something that we all hope for after this war. As Brian looks and goes, it would be a very different step to be all working together as one people. There will be plenty of growing pains, and we still need to make sure people care. Northerners do not like rulers. Northerners love their independence. The North does not. It is a free spirit of sorts. But there is also a time to acknowledge that our free spirit was almost caged by animals, was almost beaten and eaten by the wolves out there that wish to do us harm. So there can be a balance struck. And this balance may be between the North, the kingdoms of Freya, the kingdoms of Whitlin, Skolber, and hopefully Minna, once we can solve the atrocities that are going on there.
Well, it's not an easy job. I can't say I envy you.
No, this will be, Stum goes, falling into horse shit, only to slip in it to find yourself in pig shit.
Well
Yes.
put.
Indeed. But that means nothing if we can't stop Escot. These are all dreams of optimistic fools. We need to take this as seriously as possible to make our way to end Escot Grandir as soon as possible. Escot is not stupid. He is cunning, smart enough to outmaneuver us every bit of the way, but the Palantir that you returned has been of ample help to us, of hiding our movements and being ever so ahead of the game. We need to bring as quick an end to the war as possible now that we have this opportunity. If we have too much time, if we give him too much time, he will find a solution and he will beat us. I will not let that happen.
Yes. Well, the sooner this is over, the better.
I agree.
And as for dreams, I mean, that's what we're all fighting for, isn't it?
They both nod.
Well, it was good to see you again, Salem.
It is wonderful to see you. You stay alive. There's a beautiful world waiting for you. A world that you helped create at the end of this.
I'm looking forward to it. It was wonderful seeing you again, of course, Brian, especially out again on the battlefield.
It's always a pleasure, Maznell. May the winds be at your back, and let the spirit of the forest protect you.
I will do so. Have a good night.
They both nod to you and wish you the same, and you leave.
Important question.
Certainly.
Were any of the sworn in the at the festivities?
No.
No.
They do not leave her side. For the most part.
Oh.
Unless she purposely sends them somewhere. She definitely said that you guys can go ahead and party all you want, and they're all like, "You're stupid."
I was almost gonna mention, like, damn, like you got a lot of a lot of protection going on.
Yeah.
Maznell walks out of the tent, and I'm trying to chat up one of the sworn there.
You can see the sworn are just looking at you, giving you very, fair answers, not expanding, but not short with you. Everything is very professional. You feel engaged, but not definitely not going the extra distance.
Small talk, or are you being like, hey?
I mean, mostly small talk, but there's that little hint in there.
There's that hope. Big, powerful drow woman. That's hot.
Try. Shoot my shot.
Give me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
17.
Not bad. You raise some eyebrows with your conversation, and you basically get an affection point, all right? An imaginary affection point. You are now in the good graces of one of the sworn.
What's her name?
I'm going to get it up.
Gotta remember this person so you can score more points.
You can call in this favor. Where are my buddy?
Rack up the points.
Taurema.
How the fuck do I spell that?
I will just send it.
That was good luck remembering that. I assume it's a drow.
Yes, it's a drow woman. Most of them are made up of drow women. There's only one drow male in the sworn.
Whoa, very cool.
So I'll get you the full name here. I'm copy and pasting it. You did not get her full name, but Hunter gets her full name.
He gets the first name.
Yeah. Taurema Belravar of House Chaluza.
You got to shoot your shot.
Yes, you do, and you know what? Maybe that'll come up another time.
It's just nah, no one at this party is good enough.
Well, it's the challenge of it.
This sworn, that's a challenge I need to go for.
Hey, sworn have needs too.
In the back of my mind, I was gonna But I didn't think I would find her this evening. Was the Valkyrie, but this is the next level.
Oh wow, that would have been interesting.
I wasn't confident I'd actually be able to find her.
Do Valkyries even like understand like relationships and like emotions?
You can ask them.
Oh
There's nothing wrong with getting to know people.
no.
I don't know much about Valkyries other than they hate me in Skoberheim.
This conversation is absolutely occurring with Mosno and Ari as they're walking back.
Like I see him walk out and it's like, well, it was a good night. It was great talking to you. I'll see you around.
Likewise, the feeling's mutual.
That's why Maslo's giving you the eyebrow.
And I just like gotta shoot my shot.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do, my friend.
She gives you the greeting of like, may the spirit of the force be with you, chosen.
All right, off to bed.
Okay.
Yes.
What time is it? 7:31. You guys, before we get into the next day, do you want to go take a break? Go get some food or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go put my food in and get some drinks.
I think that's a good place to stop, even though we got plenty of time still. Let's stop there and we'll get ready for the next day, the next step of the war.
Yay!
Yay.
Let's go win a war.
That was fun. The morning comes the next day as the partying ends, and you guys are summoned early for the meeting with the leaders. You see the same leaders you were in the last fight as they are trickling after you for the most part. Some of them were there bright and early before you. Brian obviously is the first one there. As the group comes up, and you even see some of the princesses here, Princess of Tendorf, Sari Clovis, like it's the same group that made the last big plan. You're all together. You all understand what the next part moving forward is. There seems to be some discussion back and forth between characters, talking about who's taking over Neverwinter, what government's going to be elected, what we're going to do with the Lin Ryu, and if they have a home here. And that is very much the consensus, is that they are going to be granted these lands and these titles, but we're going to figure out by whom and when. The Princess of Tendorf seems very eager to award them these titles, but everyone's trying to take this in stride and trying to do as slow a transition as possible as to not disrupt and anger too many people. But with having the backing of the Prince of Lianzhou and the Princess of Tendorf, it's in good shape to see that there should be a transition. Once all that's described and the general plan's described, a lot of the people leave. And then once there's only like Brine, Blackstaff, Harulin, Ryu, and Corin, that's General of the First Northern Army, and the Chosen, obviously the Sworn. Then they actually explain the real plan. There is a plan, and it does follow the guidelines they're about to tell you, but this is like, they're making sure this is the utmost secrecy of where the final push is going to be, and that this isn't going to leak and people aren't going to figure this out. Even inside their trusted circles, they're taking every precaution possible. So Brian settles down and goes, well, I appreciate you all still sticking around. I'm sorry you have another long meeting to endure after a lot of political discussion, but I will try and make it as quick as possible. This is the plan, as she has the map. Do all you guys have the map out in front of you?
Yep.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right, go ahead and get that up because that'll help as I talk.
Okay. All right, got it now.
Within the day, Haru's son will be taking Phandalin and taking out that problem. From there, Haru will rally with the Waterdeep soldiers that have been sent here and wizards and anybody from Phandalin that can aid. This will hopefully be the next push needed, as they are going to cut through the area that has been known to us as Cragmaw Castle, through there past another place called the Old Owl Well, in through the Somerset Hills, to help take over some of the positions further south. This is where the army from Waterdeep, from Haran, they have been marching northward, and they are just getting past Tenjin. The Hornbrew Mountains cut through the borders awfully well of the southern half of the continent. So it has taken that army, one of the larger armies of the south, a much longer time to make their way toward Tendorf. But we can meet them with good timing. We can meet this army coming up from the south, from Waterdeep, that is basically being able to go unbeknownst because we are distracting everybody to the west, and so many of the armies have been moved to the north. And for whatever reason, the Ivory Tusks are completely and utterly disposed right now. They pulled their armies back prior, and now we can't even get word of what is going on inside Minna. It seems some internal conflict is evolving there, and even our spies are so entrenched, we don't foresee them having any chance of bailing out Tendorf or the Cobalt Alliance now that we're making our move. This is a perfect situation for us to move forward. So, today, we will start moving our armies. What is going to happen is I will take my northern armies with about 20,000 of the Lin Ryu with me to Exeter. It's Exeter. Exeter is well known as the launching point to Tendorf. This is the fortification we need that is going to be the most heavily guarded, and it's going to be a very difficult fight. Haru will join me leading his 20,000 plus soldiers on that fight. It should be enough to take with our additional 4,500 northern soldiers. We should be able to overwhelm. The other 20,000 soldiers will be accompanying you to Lancaster. Lancaster is very important. This is what I've tasked you, the Chosen, with. Thanks to the Princess of Tendorf, there is a private tunnel and sewer system that the monarchy would meet under to exchange information and make deals. It still exists, and it's heavily guarded once you get deep enough into it. It's not very well guarded because it's so well hidden and such a well-kept secret. So what we propose is that you, the Chosen, go into the sewers of Lancaster. You find your way into the Baron's chambers. He goes by the name of Baron Ver Mystica. And he is a reasonable man. He is a honor-bound man. He will, if you capture him, most likely surrender. And if he surrenders, his people will surrender and follow. If you're discovered, the armies will be forced to move in, and they will begin the siege of Lancaster. But if we can keep this as quiet as possible and turn the tides, if you can convince him to surrender peacefully and join our side, then we will have everything laid out for the final push to Tendorf. Our final plan is going to be to have the Northern Army, once we take Exeter, march north to Peterborough. Peterborough is the last stronghold for the Cobalt Alliance in terms of numbers. Something close to 10 to 20,000 soldiers are inside there, besides the actual armies inside Tendorf. When we attack Exeter, the Frost Giants are attacking Nature's Hold in the north. The north is right now dealing with a horrendous winter storm. Escot is going to be calling his soldiers back. He's going to be calling every bit of reinforcements he can back to Tendorf to make sure he does not lose his capital city and force us into a war of attrition. We cannot let this happen. So the Northern Army is going to meet these reinforcements that will be coming south, tired and trying to get into Peterborough. We are going to catch them off at the stepping stones and then fight at Peterborough. We risk being encircled, but during that encirclement, during that fight, Tendorf is exposed. By taking Exeter, the idea is the Northern armies would never let anyone but the North take the capital of Tendorf because of the pride, because of how poetic it is. I do not care for poetry. It is beautiful when it's read from a book. But when we are talking about lives and people, pride gets people killed. The Northerners will do their job, and we will draw their attention away. For you, the Chosen, and Waterdeep in the Lin Ryu to attack Tendorf. You will go behind Exeter to the south, and we will be able to cover your movements since we take those lands. You will then meet up with the Southern Army that has been marching their way to siege Tendorf with Waterdeep's army. And Jarlax is taking his people around the northern tip of the continent down into the ports to meet you in Tendorf for the final siege. This all has to be timed within 2 to 3 days tolerance. If this works, the war should be over in 2 weeks. Is there any questions?
What's the time frame on when we're capturing each site?
The way it will work is right now it will take us 1 week to get to Exeter. We will hopefully take that within 1 to 2 days. From there, we will have to march 2 days' journey to Peterborough and then to interfere with the reinforcements that are being called back to Tendorf. So from the 7 days it takes us to get to Exeter, you should land at Lancaster within 3 days earlier than us. It'll take you 4 days to get there. You will have a 3-day grace period to take Lancaster, and from there, you will then have the week to get to Tendorf in order to meet up with everybody for the siege.
Do we have a contingency plan for if Escot shows up somewhere we don't expect him to?
Yes, the contingency plans we have been outfitted by the Grey Hand. They have been cooking up something special that they are going to give to specific individuals of importance. I believe you will be in one of the engineer Grey Hands will be assigned to each of these armies, and they will be keeping it, having it for safekeeping if Escot shows up.
Okay.
If he decides to show his face during any of these encounters, then we will be certain to end his reign as soon as possible. But from our current information, Escot is incredibly upset, and he seems to be turning more and more desperate and feral as we have backed him into a corner. And he's not looking well, from what we're hearing. It seems with each and every one of the rings we have taken away, Escot is getting weaker and weaker and sicker and sicker.
Good news for us.
It is, but I do worry about what happens when you have a desperate animal, as you are familiar with. When you have a feral animal backed into a corner, it will do anything.
Let's put him down then.
Let's.
I assume the last wolf pack is in Tendorf.
That is what their information says, but there is no reason to believe he won't be reassigned somewhere else. And there is no reason to believe that Escot does not have more tricks up his sleeve. I am certain he will send for Minna. I am certain he will send for Skolber's help again. I am also certain Skolber will not help.
Yeah. They're kind of assholes, though.
Yes.
Well, at least the ones we talk to.
Anything else player-wise? You can ask anything. You don't have to roleplay as well. Just anything else you want to digest about this, inquire about.
So the plan is to split. We have the Chosen's regiment going to Lancaster, try to take it, attempt peacefully using the knowledge of these tunnels, and without conflict, if possible. They're going to Exeter. The Frost Giants and some northern troops are going to cut off Nature's Hold.
The Frostborn. The Frostborn and troops from Yin Yang are rallying right now.
They're going to meet at the Stepping Stones to try and ambush the Nature's Hold regiment, trying to be pulled back.
That's Brian's group is going to end up ambushing the Stepping Stones people.
Okay.
She's going to push north, again, drawing everyone to think that the actual attack on Tendorf is going to be longer since the northern armies are going back north instead of going towards Tendorf.
Okay. And that'll cover us to move ourselves south to try and meet up with the Waterdeep army.
Yes, that is currently marching past Tenjin, Lahair. They're right where the mountains split between the northern mountains and then like Thenowin. It's way north of Thenowin.
Yeah.
So they're like just getting through those swamplands right now.
Okay.
And it's about 15,000 soldiers, give or take.
And then hopefully the plan is that everyone kind of meets up at Tendorf in the same period.
Yeah. The Jaqualdin's using the coordinate, slowly getting ships across and back as fast as possible to be building up the army, the navy.
So in Lancaster,
Yep.
we're supposed to just talk to the leader there and see if he will select.
Well, the idea is to see if we can infiltrate using these tunnels, keep as quiet as possible while the army stands outside, not really combating just yet. And if we go in and capture the leader, we can maybe convince him to surrender and avoid bloodshed.
Yes.
The people of Lancaster are extremely honorable. They're honor bound to Baron their Mysticar, but
Baron Mysticar.
Brian describes to you that he's an individual that is basically a rock in a tough place. His allegiance is to his people and keeping them protected. And when Escot came through, Escot was like, "You sign this, or I subjugate you," and he signed it to keep his people safe, type of deal. So he's not necessarily an enemy of the North, but he's also not somebody that breaks his word.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can convince him to either surrender or, even better, just convince him to.
I mean, the Chosen that were supposedly killed showing up at his doorstep is a pretty convincing argument.
Should be.
that we have a chance to beat him.
That's their rationale. That's the northern group here's rationale.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, remember when your boss told us that we were dead? Well, here we are. How's it going? We're stuck in your city. How's it going?
He kind of lied to you. We're actually way stronger than he said.
And Brian goes,
we don't want to kill you. We just want you to not fight us.
Brian also says that when you guys siege Tendorf, there should be a surprise, a good surprise waiting for us, thanks to your actions.
All right.
Curious.
She just smiles
She
at that.
summoned a Tarask underneath Tendorf.
No. That Tarask is gone.
Just level the city.
He is sleeping somewhere else.
Ragnar mistamed it. We're fucked.
He's driving it.
He's riding the Tarask in the battle.
I mean, you can beat a Tarask. It's just really hard.
Can you beat a Tarask plus Ragnorum? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No, I am confident you guys could not beat Ragnorum and a Trask. Confident.
Same.
Like, all right, Zach's not here. I don't have to hear him complain. Do you know Ragnorum's stat block was based on the Tarask, and I'm like, that's not strong enough.
for Ragnorum?
Yes.
That's awesome. We survived that.
Holy shit.
Escot's was based on like a different level, a challenge rating individual, but then I went like, what's the hardest guy in the game? All right, I'm going to make this harder for my guys for their challenge.
Thanks.
Huh?
We survived that.
You survived a version of him, certainly.
Yep.
So we couldn't survive a Tarask and Ragnorum, but how many goblins would it take?
Well, it depends. Are these goblins outfitted with any magical weapon?
Oh my god, this is from something, isn't it?
No.
No, you guys are just doing like the measurement of goblins to Ragnorums right now?
Yes.
Oh my god.
How many goblins would it take to kill us?
To
Probably
kill
a
you
lot.
or Ragnorum?
To kill us as the chosen, a lot.
A lot.
A lot of goblins.
To kill Ragnorum,
I'm not sure there's
All of
enough.
it's impossible if none of them have magical weapons. For Ragnorum
For
or
starters, yes.
because they're literally unaffected by non-magical weapons.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a thing.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. I'll go find some
When
more
do we
music.
get started?
Let's. As all the orders have been given out and people begin marching, the soldiers will learn the entirety of the plan as they need to know it, the day they need to know it. Everything else, the other outlines of the plan weren't as specific. They were just more like going to Exeter and then pushing to Tendorf after we're certain Peterborough isn't an issue. Very broad strokes type of stuff was talked about.
What commanders are coming with us?
With you, all the northern commanders are sticking with Brian, and Lynn Wright. Haru is going to be with Brian as well.
Yeah, so who's with us?
His second oldest son.
Oh, we look at the second son?
He sent his first son at your request to Fanlin.
Yes.
He will be
His
meeting you
third
back up
son.
in Fanlin.
Fine, we'll take the second son.
Pretty sure they're
How-
all clones anyway, so I don't think it matters.
Kyoshi Lin
How's Jack?
Ryu. Kyoshi is a lot thinner than the other brothers.
Wow, he's horrible.
Wow.
His outfit is purples and deep maroons.
Ooh.
He's with you, and then the Waterdeep general.
Oh, right, Waterdeep. Yeah.
You're gonna get Salem with you, actually.
Hey,
Salem!
we get Salem.
We can't lose.
Nice.
He's infiltrating with us. We're bringing him along.
Yeah, we can, but then I'd have to fucking deal with his. All right. I just saw what I just did that to myself. That's all right.
So we don't bring him.
He doesn't have to come,
He doesn't have to come for the infiltration. He can still be there.
but we want him to.
We'll get there. Yeah, and then a lot of the Waterdeep armies also go into Exeter as well. So I'd say you have Salem's with you. You have Kyoshi, Lin Ryu.
Mhm.
I think those are the two generals that you care about for now. I think that's fine. I don't need to get into the details.
I was
of
just
the other
like,
generals.
wait, we're not like
No.
heading this army.
No. There's other subordinates that are doing all that stuff. You guys have a bulk. You have like 20,000 Lin Ryu, and you have a few thousand Waterdeep soldiers with you, and a few hundred Grey Hand. So those are all managed.
How many Lin Ryu in total do we have?
60,000 because you saved each kid. Each kid was 20,000 troops.
Holy shit.
Good thing we did that.
Yeah, if you didn't save Avicia, Mace, and Sari, if you save Sari, you get 0 troops. If you save Sari, you got 20,000, and for each additional save, you got 20,000 more troops for this part of the game.
Nice.
Wow. Didn't one of the kids die? Like a nameless one?
Nobles, about 4 nameless nobles died. They were young children from the nursery.
Yeah.
Main characters didn't died, so that's a big win.
I
tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Tried my best to kill him.
I know you did.
Tried my best within reason. Instead of just being like, and then I purposely go out of my way to kill this character for no apparent reason to my players.
Mace chokes on French fries.
Guys,
You see the army marching towards the city, and then meteors swarm. 3 meteors crash into the army.
This doesn't sound right. All right, so, is there anything you guys want to do over the next few days as you go on your 4 days journey to Lancaster? You are resupplied with basic rations, water, and food, for that matter.
Arrows?
Arrows, you can get basically as many arrows as you want.
I want like 100.
You can have 100. They'll give you 100 for certain.
Yes, I am special.
True. Like, you guys have such a name now. As you're even traveling, the excitement is electric between the people that are with you, and a lot of the Northern Army is almost disappointed that the Chosen aren't with them anymore. For this breakup. Cool. Yeah, right. You're like the cool camp counselors.
Cool group.
But you constantly hear them talking about your battles like they were at the final stand of Nature's Hold and won. They were at the Battle of Yin Yang and won. They were at the Battle of Neverwinter and won. They don't lose. They infiltrated Li and Zhao, even though they fucking lost. They ignore that. They don't think about that. It was still a win.
We didn't lose. Nobody knows what happened.
Exactly.
We infiltrated Li and Zhao.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
We infiltrated and we survived.
No, so what was
We survived.
You see Salem as he hears these rumors. I'm not going to tell him otherwise.
what was the mission? Get the
Palantir. We succeeded in that.
That was the only thing, right?
We also got a Valkyrie.
Yeah,
we
free
got
allies.
Palantir plus a Valkyrie.
And we were all alive by the end of it.
So we succeeded. We didn't.
Of the Chosen, we were all alive.
We succeeded in what we came there for.
We traded excellence in to get a Valkyrie.
Worth it.
You just feel metallic arm on your shoulder. Is that how the story goes? Not really. Not really. I'm just having fun with you guys out of game right now. I can see a tinge of like he's not really there, right? We're not.
I hope he's not real.
There's only one thing I want.
Yeah.
Is there a set of studded leather anywhere?
Sure.
Ooh, that's a good point.
You can have studded leather.
I can finally upgrade my armor for
It would be utterly unrealistic for this place not to have a free studded armor for you. Oh, and you all, if you succeed peacefully taking Lancaster, everyone levels up tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will throw that out there.
Yes.
Oh, we're doing it.
All right.
Is there any other really nice leather armor laying around?
All right.
No.
How
I
many
didn't
weapons?
think
Literally, studded leather is the best light armor you can get. So
There you
I currently have that, so.
How many weapons am I allowed to carry at once?
As many if you want.
As long as they can fit within the bag of holding. You can tie them across your back, but you're going to have penalties to your stealth check as I hear them chinking around all 12 swords.
How many before that starts? I want to know.
6.
What?
6.
Okay, that's fine. I was toying around with the idea of getting a bow.
You can
That's
get
literally all I was thinking about.
You can
Do you
definitely get
want a
bow.
longbow?
Yeah, you can have a longbow.
I was thinking, I was like, number one, like maybe for like encounters where they're flying and I can't get to them, but mainly like I could use a bow for like hunting. Like that's
If you need a longbow, I have my original Siren's longbow.
Oh, Reed,
Yes.
can I get some oil?
Yep.
All right, cool. How much oil do they have laying around?
They can give you what is it measured in?
Let me check this.
Usually, oil. It's like one use is like a pound.
Okay. I'd say they give you 5 uses of oil.
Okay.
Obviously, like they're rationing everything, so resources aren't plentiful. But for basically your rewards, you guys have an open and first dibs on everything after taking Neverwinter.
Awesome.
Is that bow special? Because I don't really need it.
No.
I'm on as like.
It's literally my original longbow. It's only called Siren because it has the etching of a siren in the bow.
I mean, like I can probably just find a regular ass longbow.
Yeah, but he doesn't use his bow, so that's why he's offering it to
bow
you.
anymore.
What?
I have Kageyumi. I don't need this bow anymore.
I'm just saying, like, I honestly, the only reason I want this bow is like for hunting.
Sure.
Do you not want his hand-me-down? You're putting up a fight for this. I don't really.
It's up to you.
You're fighting me about an item that I literally do not need.
All right, I'll take.
It's purely sentimental at this point, and I want to pass it on to you.
All right, I'll take it. Then.
That is a conversation that happened canonically between all of you guys in the camp on the second day.
I think I need a longbow. Hey, I've got a bow. No, I just need a regular longbow. I have this bow. I don't need this bow.
Well, what if something happens to that bow and you're like, oh, I got my backup. Oops, I don't have it.
Then he goes, Mosnell, give me the fucking bow.
Mosnell, if I lose this bow, that's like you losing your axe.
So they're gonna have a lot bigger problems.
Yeah, if this bow is not on me, we've got bigger issues.
Oh.
And his name's Ragnar.
Well, I
Kidding.
greatly appreciate the gift, and I will use it well, I guess. I mean, it's mainly for hunting, but
Whatever.
it'll be good.
It's literally just a standard longbow, and I called it the name Siren longbow, but it just has the etching of a siren along its wood.
All right.
I'm also gonna give Ari 4 of my flame arrows.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go get some arrows for myself.
Yep, you can get
If you
about
don't know what
20
they are,
arrows
you
for
can
your
just look
Mosnell.
At my inventory? ?
What's that?
I was just saying to him, if you want to know what they are, you can just look at my inventory.
Sure.
I will take a quick look.
I was gonna help you guys.
Oh yeah, I have poison in my bag. What?
Yeah, you could probably pick that up from.
I think,
spiders.
I think you stole that either from the bees or from something.
Spiders.
It's the
should have
giant
been.
hornet poison.
Salem spends plenty of time with you guys, telling stories and bonding with you guys over the fire. He makes sure to go out of his way to sit with you. Kayoshi does the same. You guys spend all 4 nights together, all the leaders. Everyone's like all jealous seeing this like dream team of individuals together. Kayoshi explains some of the ways of the Lin Ryu to you guys. Being the second youngest son, and what he specializes in is more of the elemental forces, and he uses a lot more magic than his older brother and his father. He explains that a lot of the people, a lot of the soldiers that work under him, also wield such magical powers. And back home, he was responsible for managing all the trade. So he's really, really excited to get his roots inside this part of the world and start trying to create these great roads that they had back in Atet. The Lin Ryu were the sentinels of the longest and greatest trading routes in all the world. So it's a big piece of pride. And now to start over, it's almost like a what's the word for it? Like an inheritance of sorts, or a manifest destiny for them to start anew on a new continent.
Well, we might be able to bring that up in our negotiations then.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to ask of the two generals?
No, I have things I want to do though.
Okay.
Moscow, are you attuned to everything? Are you fully attuned?
Yes, but one of the things I'm attuned to, I don't need it.
Because I have this Ioun Stone. You activate it before a fight, and it kind of floats around your head, and it gives you a +1 to your AC.
Ooh,
That's pretty cool.
+1 to AC.
It is attunement, but I'm gonna reattune to my Ring of Temporal Salvation after that unexpected Escot ambush, and I'm never taking that off.
He has a way of doing that.
What does that ring do?
If I die, it resurrects me and teleports me and then heals me a bit.
Where does it teleport you to?
Like within 5 feet unoccupied space where I died.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you're in a different city.
No,
Like
it's
peace,
like
bitches.
it's there, and then it's like I die, and if something like crushes me, then it's like I appear over here.
Cool. Good to know.
All right. Are you guys ready for the infiltration of Lancaster?
I would like to utilize my giant half vial of giant hornet poison. Is there any way that I could set some arrows in there and have them still be seeped with the poison at all? In any way, shape, or form?
It would give you a 1d6 poison one time.
Marinate.
How many arrows could I do that with?
I'd say 4.
4? Okay, cool. I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, give you some use. Get rid of that in your inventory, certainly. And you'll do that the day, like hours before you go to soak it, because it doesn't last that long, the poison on it, so it's definitely timed out.
That's fine. I it's just been sitting there, so.
Yeah, we'll rock that.
Do I have to spell?
Go to music. And nope.
I was gonna say, just purely because we're missing literally half the party.
Yep.
There is almost a part of me that wants to like
Wait.
end early today and wait to do this objective.
Yeah, I
with the rest of
agree.
the group,
We can do that.
to be honest, just because doing a big battle without Ulazal at the very least.
Yes.
We don't know if there's a big battle or not.
It does feel a little unfair, though.
Doing a big objective, I would say.
Yeah.
Because we can't really go in and adjust his spells to fit the situation.
Yeah.
Because he needs to learn his spells for the day, and he might have better utility than what he applied for the previous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, my original plan too is to take them out of the equation, so it depends. We can do it tonight, and they all get knocked out, basically, from an attempt on their life, and they're all too sick to help infiltrate Lancaster, or we can wait for them for whatever the next session is, and the Northern Arc continues. It's fine by me anyway. I don't care.
I vote for an early night.
Sure.
I agree.
Right.
I'm also totally open to doing that solo session with you now if you want to do that to fill the time.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, solo session.
It won't take long.
Oh, right, with
Ivana.
yes.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh.
So this might actually be a good use of time if you guys want to do the end early thing.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, because then we don't really lose anything because we're still getting that in.
Yeah.
Then we will do Lancaster in the next session.
Very cool.
And then most likely after that is the Siege of Tendorf. Unless you're a fuck up.
Very cool.
And we're not leveling up till...
You're not leveling up if you have to make sure you only get that bonus if you do it correctly, in the sense of if you're able to convince them without causing thousands of people to die. If you don't start
What
a
if
fight.
it's hundreds but not thousands?
Don't get the level up. Don't get it.
999.
Yes!
No, you don't get it. I also have started baking into certain milestone boss fights, like the big ones, achievements. So if you potentially do something during the boss fights, you might get a permanent boost or benefit or ability to a character.
Ooh.
That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot.
Yep. I literally was starting to name the achievements.
That's awesome. Dude, next campaign's going to be so perfect because we'll have ironed out everything and we'll only have one party.
Yes, I'm looking forward to one party so much.
I bet.
Same
Alright,
here.
well, we'll stop the recording there.